Let's learn the next topic, which is called elements of correlation theory. Элементы теории корреляции. Элементы теории корреляции. Elements of correlation theory. Элементы теории корреляции. Please remember, you have learned basic distributions for one variable. This variable is x. Now, students, let's learn dependencies between two variables, x and y. Let's remember, if you have dependence between x and y, it means first variable is independent, yes, second variable is dependent. For example, students, if you have y equals f of x, y equals f of x, it's the general formula for function, yes, it's dependence. X, is it dependent or independent variable? Independent. Because you can take all values of x and substitute. And y is called dependent. Agree? Okay. Let's continue. Students, if you can express x through y, you can get this dependence. For example, let's copy out x equals phi of y. This is called independent variable. It will be y. Y is independent and x is dependent. You can take the first dependence or the second one. Agree? Okay. Or for example, students, let's solve this. Y equals to x minus 4. It means we have this dependence. Y equals f of x. Students, if we have x to the first power, is it parabola? Straight line, hyperbola? Straight line, это у нас прямая линия. It will be straight line. Okay. Let's remember, we have this dependence. Yes, it's dependence between x and y. How to express x? То есть как нам выразить x? For example, yes, please remember, if you have y equals to x minus 4, yes, you can change places and get 2x minus 4 equals y. Agree? Okay, you need to leave 2x and take 4 and move to the right side. And get 2x equals y plus 4. Agree? How to get formula for x? Yes, let's divide by 2. And we have x equals, the first expression will be 1/2 of y plus 4, or x equals y plus 4 divided by 2. Agree? For example, if you take y and divide it by 2, you can get 1/2 y. And 4 divided by 2 gives 2. If you take this case, you can get x is independent, y is dependent. If you have this case, you can get independent and dependent variables. Agree? For example, students, let's check, is it correct or not? Or for example, let's take x equals 3, for example. If you take x equals 3, you can substitute and get y equals 2 times 3 minus 4. Is it correct or not? Okay, 2 times 3 equals 6. 6 minus 4 equals 2. Okay, we have this point. Y equals 2, x equals 3. Is it correct or not? Let's check. Let's substitute. Let's substitute into this formula. X equals 3. We have 3 on the left. Agree? 1/2 times y. What is y? Y is 2. Students, 1/2 multiplied by 2, what is it? It's 1, yes? And we have 3 equals 1 plus 2. Is it correct or not? Okay. Is all clear? Okay, please remember you can take x and get y, or you can take y and get x. Is all clear? Okay, you need to get the functional dependence between x and y. То есть нам нужно будет получить функциональную зависимость. In order to get this dependence, you need to learn the first dependence, which is called correlation dependence. Это у нас корреляционная зависимость. Correlation dependence between two variables, x and y. It means, how to explain correlation dependence? It means a change of one out of two variables means changing the second variable, or the change of the first variable gives the changing of the second variable. То есть одна меняется, соответственно, меняется и вторая. Okay. And now, students, let's learn the next definition, which is called a conditional mean. Условное среднее. It's a conditional mean. In order to learn this definition, now, students, please take this table. The first table, smallest table, we have values x and y. For example, how many values of x do you have? 4, yes? We have 2, 4, 6, and 8. Agree? How many values of y do you have? 4, yes? 1, 3, 5, and 7. Each value of x corresponds to value of y. For example, students, now let's take this table and find a conditional mean, условное среднее. How to explain, students? It means you need to take, for example, let's take this table. In order to find all values of this table, now, students, let's get elements of row and column. How to find mx? Let's copy out row, which is called mx. In order to find mx, please look at first column. For example, 1 is repeated once, 3 is repeated once. How many times? Total number equals 1 plus 1? 2. Okay, next. 1 is repeated 2 times, yes, 6 is repeated 6 times, and 5 is repeated 5 times. Total number equals, next, 1 plus 1 equals, next, 2, 6, and 5, 13, next, 9, next, 1, okay. If we have 9, 13, 2, 39, and 1, let's call total number. How many elements? 25. Okay, let's continue. Now, students, let's take this column, which is called my. 3, next. 10, and 2. Let's check, is it 25 or not? Because total number of elements equals 25. Do you agree or not? Okay, let's continue. And now, students, let's find the first conditional mean. How to find? Let's call the first value of x. The first value of x equals 2. Okay. Students, if x equals 2, how many values of y do you have? So, for example, if x equals 2, y can be 1 or 3, yes? It means in order to find this value, you need to take first value of 1. First value of y equals 1. 1 is repeated once. 1 multiplied by 1 plus. Next, value 3 is repeated once. It means 3 multiplied by 1 and divided by total number. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay. Let's find. First product equals 1. Second product equals 3. Yes, 1 plus 3 equals 4 divided by 2 equals 2. Okay. Like this, students, please call the next conditional mean. Conditional means, for example, if x equals 2, if x equals 2, то есть при каком-то конкретном условии. Let's take x equals 4. If you take equals 4, you can take y equals 1. Next, y equals 3 and y equals 5. Okay, let's take y equals 1. How many times? 2. Okay. 3 is repeated. 6. Okay. And 5 is repeated 5 times. Okay. 5 times 5. And divided by total number. 2 plus 6 plus 5. Yes. And this number equals 13. Okay. Let's divide. Students, how to find y if we have x equals 6? Let's look at your table, 3 times 3, okay, plus 5 times 5, okay, and 7 times 1, okay, 9 plus 25 plus 7 and divided by total number. It will be 9, okay. This result will be 9 plus 25 plus 7, 41. 41 divided by 9 approximately equals 4.6. Okay. Let's continue. And students, please call the last number of x. It will be 8. Okay, how to find this conditional mean if you have x equals 8? 7 times 1, yes, because we have only one value. 7 times 1 and divide by, sorry, 1, yes, it's 1. And this value, it will be 7. Is all clear? Okay. Students, how to find conditional values? It means we have dependence between y and x. How to get dependence between x and y? How to find conditional mean if we take y? Let's find one value. Let's take y equals 1. How to find the first conditional mean? 1 multiplied by 2 or 2 multiplied by 1? 2 by 1, yes, value multiplied by, okay, frequency. Okay, next. Plus by 2, okay, and divided by 3, okay. It means 2 plus 8 equals 10, agree? Okay, divided by 3, what is it? Okay, 3.33. Is all clear? Students, if you have this table of values x and y, you can take correlation dependence. То есть вы можете получить корреляционную зависимость between x and y. Students, in order to get this dependence, let's draw this graph. Students, how many points do you have? How many points? 4, yes, x equals 2, y equals 2. Yes, x equals 4, x equals 6, and x equals 8. Okay, let's start. Okay, first value of x equals 2, agree? Let's mark 2, 4, 6, and 8. Values of, okay, let's mark 1, 2, 3, Okay, no, let's mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 0. Okay. Let's mark the first point. The first point will be 2 and 2. Next point will be 4 and 3.5. We have 6 and 4.6. And 8 and 7. Now, students, let's connect points. Let's look at this graph. This line is called empirical line. Y upon x, то есть y на x. Empirical line y upon x, то есть y на x. Okay, let's look at this picture and call dependence. Is it straight line or not? Ну, а ближе на какую похоже? 50 by 50, okay. Is all clear? Okay, let's continue. You need to learn dependence between x and y. And students, this empirical equation, this empirical line is called regression line. Регрессионная линия, линия регрессии, regression line. How to explain? Okay. Correlation. How to explain correlation? Correlation, it's dependence between x and y. Students, this dependence may be weak, слабая. This dependence may be moderate, это средняя, and this dependence may be strong, это у нас будет сильная. How to explain regression? For example, students, how many types of functions do you know? The simplest function will be line, yes, straight line. Agree? Ну, for example, you know power function, да, степенная функция. You know exponential function. Ну, for example, you know parabola. Agree? Угу. Какие у нас еще есть такие? Гипербола. You know hyperbola. Okay. With the help of correlation, you can define a dependence between x and y. You have three basic types: weak, moderate, strong. Слабая, сильная, средняя, сильная. Regression gives type of dependence. It may be straight line, it may be power function, it may be exponential function, parabola, or hyperbola. Is all clear? And now let's look at this picture and define this type. So this line approximately straight line, yes, the first. Agree? Okay. Let's continue. With the help of correlation analysis, you can estimate this relationship between x and y. With the help of regression analysis, you can investigate its form, straight line or power function, and so on. And now, students, please remember, Correlation are divided by two types, positive and negative. How to explain positive correlation? Let's look at this picture. We have points, it means x increases and y increases. Agree? Okay, how to explain negative correlation? Let's look at this picture. X increases and y decreases. Agree? Okay, what dependence between x and y do we have? Now, students. And why? Okay. You can plot the table for your example later. Okay, let's continue. First, correlation may be positive or negative. Next, number of variables. So for example, students, if you have two variables, it means first is independent, second one is dependent. We have pair regression. Это парная регрессия. Pair regression means 1x, 1y. Next regression is called multiple regression. How to explain? How many values of x do you have? 4. We have 4 different variables, x1, x2, x3, and x4. Agree? So for example, x1, x2, next, x1, x2, x3, and so on. Please remember, we have two types, pair regression and multiple regression. Парная и множественная. Okay, let's continue. The next point will be correlation form. We have basic dependencies. For example, students, the simplest way will be straight line. Next, a power function. Next, will be exponential function. Next, hyperbolic function, and so on. We have different types of dependencies between x and y. The simplest will be straight line. Да, самая простая, это у нас будет прямая.